Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we really try to slice through the noise and get straight to what matters.
Is essential nuggets. Yeah.
Exactly. Today, we're plunging into PC gaming hardware. We're aiming to truly understand a graphics card that's, well, it's been making some waves.
Which one are we looking at?
It's the Sapphire Pulse Radeon RX 9060 XT Gaming OC, specifically the 16 gigabyte version.
Ah, okay. That one.
Yeah, the market's just overflowing with options, lots of hype. So our mission today is to cut past the raw specs.
Right. Get to the real world.
And figure out what this card actually means for your gaming experience, especially 1080p and 1440p.
The resolutions most people actually use.
We want to arm you with the insight so you know if this is like the smart choice for your next build or maybe an upgrade.
Makes sense.
Okay, let's unpack this.
And that idea of the smart choice, that's really why this is so valuable, I think.
Yeah.
Because for so many gamers, chasing the absolute, bleeding edge, it's just not practical or even needed.
Totally agree.
The real challenge is finding that sweet spot, that perfect blend of performance, the features you need, and, let's be honest, value.
Always comes down to value, doesn't it?
It really does. And from everything we've seen, this Sapphire Pulse RX 9060 XT, it seems to hit that mark really nicely. Makes it a compelling option for a pretty broad audience.
Okay, that's a strong start. So let's begin with, the physical thing.
Yeah.
When you unbox this Sapphire Pulse card, what's the first impression?
You know what's really striking? It's how Sapphire has this whole understated but functional thing going with the Pulse series.
Okay.
And it's actually quite refreshing. You won't find flashy RGB everywhere.
Some people will definitely appreciate it.
Oh yeah, a welcome absence for many. Instead, you get this compact twin fan setup. It's got a decent heft, feels well built, and a sleek matte black finish. It feels solid, not flimsy. And that minimalist design just means it slides into most mid-tower builds super easily. No fuss.
Nice.
It's clearly a card built for, substance, not unnecessary flair, function first.
I like that. Substance over flair. And speaking of function, how about connectivity, integration? The ports on this card, how do they stack up for, typical gaming setups?
Yeah, good question. The connectivity here is, well, you'd probably call it banker standard.
Banker standard. Okay.
Which basically means it's exactly what most gamers actually need. You get 2 HDMI ports and a single display port.
Just one display port.
Yeah, just one. But it is the latest 2.1A spec, so that's good. Offers solid flexibility. Now, okay, one reviewer did mention they kind of wished for an extra display port, especially with multi-monitor setups getting more common, right?
Yes, I could see that.
But honestly, for the vast majority of gamers running 1, maybe 2 displays, these options are more than adequate. It gets the job done without overcomplicating things, stays true to that substance idea.
That makes sense. Practicality is key in this segment, often overlooked.
Okay, let's pivot a bit. Something that can really make or break the experience. Heat and noise.
Ah, yes. Always important. How does this card manage that? Is it like a silent workhorse that lets you get totally immersed, or are you going to be reaching for the noise-canceling headphones?
Okay, this is actually one of the most pleasing things about this card. The thermals and acoustics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the cooling solution is impressively effective, keeps temperatures well under control even when you're pushing it hard.
Uh-huh.
But the really excellent part for the user, it stays remarkably quiet. Like in typical gaming scenarios,
Wow.
you genuinely won't need those noise-canceling headphones just to block out fan roar. It hits this really nice sweet spot between, strong cooling performance and just subtle operation.
That's fantastic.
It's the kind of card you almost forget is even in your system. Lets you just focus on the game.
That's a huge win, especially in this tier where noise can sometimes be a real issue. Is there something specific about Sapphire's cooler? Or just good engineering?
It's probably a combination, really. Sapphire's Pulse series, they're known for pretty refined cooler designs.
Okay.
Things like optimized fan blade shapes for better airflow, maybe larger heat sinks, direct contact heat pipes. It's not just about slapping on big fans.
Right, it's the whole system.
Exactly. It's the intelligent engineering of the whole cooling assembly that lets it get rid of heat efficiently and quietly.
Okay, we've covered the build, the practical stuff.
Right.
But for most gamers, the big question is always performance. How does it actually play?
Right, the meat of the matter.
Here's where it gets really interesting. How does the Sapphire Pulse RX 9060 XT hold up? Let's start with 1080p.
Okay, so at 1080p, the word is smooth as silk.
Smooth as silk. Nice.
Yeah, for high-fidelity gaming. Even demanding titles run with plenty of headroom. which means you've got flexibility. You can tweak settings upwards if you want that really premium 1080p experience.
Okay, sounds great for 1080p. What about stepping up to 1440p?
It still delivers a great experience at 1440p. That's the takeaway.
But I sense a but.
Well, yeah, you might need to dial back some of the, let's say, fancier visual settings or make smart use of upscaling.
Like AMD's FSR.
Exactly. Fidelity FX Super Resolution, which, renders lower internally then upscales intelligently, gives you a nice performance boost, usually with pretty minimal visual trade-off.
So FSR is kind of key for pushing it at 1440p then.
It can definitely help bridge that gap, yeah. Makes 1440p very viable.
Okay, what about newer stuff? Ray tracing. And how does it, stack up against the competition? Thinking NVIDIA here, obviously.
Right. Well, what's kind of surprising here is that its ray tracing capabilities are described as decent.
Decent, not usually AMD's strong suit historically.
Exactly. It apparently delivers playable frame rates, even where older AMD cards might really struggle. It's a noticeable step up from prior gen parts, like the RX 7600 XT especially. Right. And looking across the aisle, comparing it to something like NVIDIA's RTX 5060 series, the AMD card often has an edge in raw raster performance.
So traditional rendering.
Right. And crucially, it typically comes with more VRAM.
Ah, VRAM. Okay, let's pause there. That's 16 gigs on this specific model. For someone thinking about a build that'll last a few years, what does that actually mean for them down the line?
That's a really critical point. And frankly, that 16 GB variant, it's a key differentiator. It feels like a very smart long-term buy.
Why specifically?
Well, what's insightful here is how game engines are evolving, right? And sometimes, maybe less optimized PC ports, they are just chewing through VRAM.
Seen that more and more.
Especially at 1440p, higher texture settings. So while 8GB might seem enough for a lot of games today,
it might not be tomorrow.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That 16 GB on this card isn't just about raw power right now. It's more like a strategic shield against future memory bottlenecks.
A shield, I like that.
Yeah. It basically buys you more viable gaming years for your investment. You won't suddenly have to crank down texture quality or deal with stutter just because you ran out of memory.
So future-proofing. Not just current performance. That's a key nugget right there.
Absolutely.
But, okay, no card is perfect. What are the limits? Who isn't this card for?
You're right. Got to manage expectations. It doesn't have the outright brute force of the higher-end cards, like the RX 9070 or the 9070 XT.
Okay.
So if your goal is like 4K gaming with everything maxed out or really serious, no-compromise ray tracing, you might find this one a bit underwhelming.
Right.
But, and this is important, those higher-end cards, they're considerably pricier.
Yeah, usually a big jump.
For most gamers, this RX 9060 XT really hits that delicious middle ground. Excellent frame rates, great image quality at the resolutions most people actually play at.
That delicious middle ground sounds like the sweet spot again. Which brings us, inevitably, to price. The value question in today's often crazy GPU market. What's the verdict there?
Yeah, the million-dollar question, right? What do you get for your cash? And look, if this Sapphire Pulse RX 9060 XT actually lands at or near its intended MSRP,
the suggested retail price,
then it genuinely feels like fantastic value for money. Simple as that.
How so?
It offers performance that's remarkably close to those higher-end models we just mentioned, but at a noticeably lower price point. The advice from reviewers seems pretty direct. If you spot one near MSRP, don't hesitate.
Wow, strong recommendation.
It really is. For its segment, it delivers real performance without totally breaking the bank.
Okay, so wrapping this up, after diving deep into this Sapphire Pulse Radeon RX 9060 XT, what does it all mean? What are the key takeaways for someone listening trying to navigate this market?
Right, the summary. Basically, the Sapphire Pulse RX 9060 XT 16 GB, it emerges as a really smart, no-nonsense choice, especially if you're focused mainly on 1080p or 1440p gaming.
Okay.
You get solid build quality, that quiet but very effective cooling we talked about, and just a commendable all-round gaming experience. And crucially, without unnecessary gimmicks.
Substance over flair again.
Exactly. Its core strength isn't about being the flashiest or the absolute fastest card out there. It's about hitting that perfect sweet spot. Price, performance, and practicality. For the average gamer, it's about getting the most bang for your buck, both today and, thanks to that VRAM, hopefully for a good few years to come.
So thinking about that balance, price, performance, especially for those common resolutions, and that focus on long-term value with the 16 GB VRAM. How might knowing about this card influence your approach when you're thinking about building or upgrading a gaming PC? What new gaming experiences might this kind of smart choice card allow you to confidently aim for? Maybe things you hadn't considered before. Something to think about.